All right, going to react to a couple NFL news and storylines. Browns QB competition, some reporting on that as they've got 4 guys trying to compete to be the starter. Plus, the Tush Push vote did not get passed. I react as the polarizing play, I think is a fair word, will live for at least another season. Eagles already having that picture in the chamber for once that vote came in. So lots of reaction coming up here on Verts. What's going on, everybody? I'm Harrison Graham. This is Verts, where we talk NFL and college football every single day. Let's get into the Browns quarterback competition as a report from Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com indicates that Kenny Pickett is the front runner to be the starter and will get the first team reps, at least initially. Here's what she had to say on this competition. She said, in terms of the battling order in team drills, it will likely be Pickett and Gabriel, Dillon Gabriel, number 1 and number 2, and then Flacco and Shedeur Sanders splitting number 3 and number 4 reps at the outset. It's a tough call before we've even seen the first practice at OTAs, but I know Kenny Pickett heads in as the front runner, so that's pretty strong there from Cabot. She did say Flacco's big arm will dazzle in camp, and it'll be hard to keep him off the field, especially because he'll be fighting so hard to win the battle. It remains to be seen how they'll split concurrent passing drills, but placing a rookie with the vet seems to make the most sense. So it almost sounds like, and there's been rumors of this too, that they almost might have like split drills where like Pickett and Gabriel are with this unit and these players, and then Flacco and Shedeur with another unit. That way they can kind of simultaneously get reps because, look, especially once training camp gets here, you can't have a 4-quarterback competition. There's just not enough reps. It's not 1995 where they're running 2-a-days and 250 plays a day. Like, it's just not how it is. There's not enough reps to go around, so you got to narrow this thing down. I will say I'm a little surprised that Pickett enters as QB1 and not Joe Flacco. And, again, according to Mary Kay, this is kind of the order that they're going to operate under. Now, I do think there's a caveat here. I think Flacco, it's kind of a we know what he brings to the table. If you're Kevin Stefanski and the crew 2 years ago when they brought him in off the street, he was able to learn the offense quickly and perform at a notable level. He's obviously 40 years old. He's going to have limitations, but they might view this as he doesn't necessarily need a bulk of reps. And I kind of agree with that, but I think like today, if you ask me, who would I start in a game tomorrow out of these 4 guys, I'd probably say Joe Flacco. So the fact that they're going with Kenny Pickett almost indicates to me that they feel like there's something untapped there that Philadelphia last year and obviously Pittsburgh for a couple years didn't feel was in his game. So I find that very interesting because I personally am not that high on Kenny Pickett. We'll talk more about that here in a second. But make sure you subscribe to the channel when storylines and big stories, news, rumors, items drop. We react here on Verts. All you got to do is subscribe, turn on notifications, and rock with us every single day. Third time's the charm? Browns kind of think so based on this reporting. But, like, do we really think Kenny Pickett is going to get unlocked and by the Cleveland Browns? And listen, I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he's an underrated coach, but like the Steelers were done after 2 years, despite spending a first-round pick on him. The Eagles thought Tanner McKee was a better backup, so they traded him. When we have seen Kenny Pickett play, it's been underwhelming. The career numbers point to a very average backup, not even like an average or fringe starter. Like, these are average backup numbers. I mean, sub 80 QB rating, basically a 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, below average accuracy. Like, he's not even an upper echelon backup based on how he's performed in his career. So I look at this and it's like, it's not like it's year 2 or something. Or it'd be one thing where, like, and we'll get to the Titans here in a second, like Will Levis, big rocket arm, mobile. Kenny Pickett can move a little bit, but he's got tiny hands, doesn't have a big arm. I don't think his game translates to cold weather, which you know the Browns are going to play in some bad weather games down the stretch of these seasons. So I just don't really get this Kenny Pickett thing. Now, I get they traded for him and things changed and they added more quarterbacks down the road, but it's like, okay, so you did a pick swap for Kenny Pickett. You're going to give him the first team reps. I don't get that mindset whatsoever. If I were the Browns, I would be giving as many reps as possible to the two rookies, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I would split reps there, and if neither is ready for week one, I would start Joe Flacco. That would be my approach, because Flacco doesn't need many reps. Give him a few reps each day. He knows the offense, just needs to stay in shape, and give your rookies all the reps. You just see this too often where teams are like, oh, yeah, we'll slow play the rookies, which I get. You don't need to start them right away, but, like, give them the reps because they need it. Are you really, like, going to sit here and pretend that Kenny Pickett is going to take off in year 4 with Team 3? I don't get that approach at all, and especially when you're in the situation that the Browns are in. They're not a playoff team. They are not going to be a playoff team this year. Now, maybe they win 6-7 games compared to 3 or 4 last year, but they're just not very good. So why not give the reps to the 2 rookies you drafted, not 1, 2, and see where this thing goes. If one of them wows and dazzles, great, and you just start them and see how it goes. If they don't, that's what Joe Flacco's for. Like, you could start Joe Flacco because he did it coming off the couch a couple years ago. Like, he's one of those vets that doesn't need a lot of reps. So I ask you, who do you guys think should start? Type KP for Kenny Pickett, DG for Dillon Gabriel, JF for Joe Flacco, SS for Shedeur Sanders. Sounds like if there was a game today, they would start Kenny Pickett, and I would argue he should be last on this list. So Brown's going to Brown. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, I'm calling this a fake QB competition. I know Brian Callahan is standing up there, Titans head coach, and saying, yeah, Cam Ward, Will Levis, we're splitting reps. This is a fair competition. Will Levis is going to get every opportunity. There is no world where Cam Ward isn't the week 1 starter, barring an injury. Like, he would – I'll say this right now. If Will Levis starts week 1, that is not a, wow, Levis must have really impressed, because I'm sure he's practiced well in the past. He started last year, and they kept going back to him. I think that's a direct indictment on Cam Ward. It's like, yikes, he must have been really bad, not picking up the playbook, a variety of things. To go back to this, we all watched Will Levis last year. The accuracy was hit and miss. He was literally giving games away. It started with week 1. The Titans were crushing the Bears, and he was just giving the ball away, including when he was getting sacked. He flipped the ball out to the sideline, and it just fluttered in the air and got picked off for a pick 6, and it cost them the game. And he did that about 4 more times throughout the season. Tennessee's defense played well last year. Like, I look at the Titans, and I'm like, if Cam Ward's the 20th best quarterback this year, could they flirt with the wild card spot? That's probably a stretch, but their defense is upper half of the league. The offense was just literally giving games away last year. So I just refuse to believe that Will Levis has a chance to start. Now, I get the thought of, hey, Cam Ward needs to go out there and earn it. Okay, fine. They kind of did that last year in Washington. Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota. No one believed Mariota was going to start, and he didn't, and Jaden had a great year. So, okay, if you want to kind of put pressure on your number 1 pick rookie quarterback, I guess that's fine. Just know that people like me don't believe you when you say Will Levis has a chance to start. Okay, the news of the day, the Tush Push Ban proposal by the Green Bay Packers has not passed. There was reporting a few hours ago that there was momentum toward it passing, that Roger Goodell really wants the ban to happen. For whatever reason, he's probably looking at data that suggests that from an entertainment standpoint, it's not great. He's probably gotten information that people are concerned about injuries, even though there hasn't been a notable one up to this point. 22 votes in favor of banning. That was up from 16 back in March. That one technically did not have a vote, but it got reported after that it was 16-16. That's how it would have played out. With a slight tweak in the proposal from Green Bay, it got up to 22, but 24 are needed. You got to get 75% ownership votes to enact a rule change. So no ban as of now. I said this at the time. I'll say it again. And I like to have strong opinions on things. On this one, I don't have a strong opinion. I have thoughts. From an entertainment product standpoint, I don't think it's a good play. It's a rugby play. It's a weightlifting play. And I get toughness and physicality is a part of football, but you can still run a QB sneak if the tush push didn't exist. And quite frankly, I think the Eagles would still be one of the best at that because Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds and has a low center of gravity and can kind of just shoot the gap. But on the flip side, there is a small part of me that's like, well, they have run the play better than most other teams. So, it kind of feels like they're getting punished. So I see both sides of it. As an average consumer, as someone who's not an Eagles fan. If I was, I'd probably be pounding the table to keep it. I don't blame their fans. But as someone who's not and just enjoys football, I don't love the play. But I'm not going to be up in arms about it. It is what it is. I will say this. My guess is this is the last year it'll exist. I think a few of the teams that voted against banning it will either negatively benefit from the play this year, or something will happen this year and they're like, yeah, we're just tired of it. And I think this will be voted on again next year, and eventually it will pass. Why do I think that? Because typically when Goodell thinks strongly about something, he gets his way. Didn't right now, but it already went from 16 to 22 in 2 months. I think in 12 months, 2 more votes will probably fall in his favor. Now, how would you have voted? Would you have voted to ban it or to keep it? Type B for ban or K for keep. I probably, if I had to vote one side, I probably would have voted for a ban unless my coaching staff told me, like, hey, this is a weapon for us. Like, obviously, Howie Roseman's not, or Jeffrey Lurie, the Eagles owner, is not going to vote to ban it. But if you're a team that doesn't have a super athletic quarterback or doesn't have the best offensive line, why would you vote to keep it? Because the play doesn't help you. It only hurts you when you go up against a team that really, really does it well. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of For Verts. We will continue to pump out the content for you guys, so don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you soon.